It was a year ago that state officials recognized this was a crisis. That's when the water bottles and filters came flowing into this town. But remember, the people here had been living with it for a year and a half without any warning.
Ours wasn't the only case of Legionnaires, so that was the most surprising.
The Flint water crisis has killed at least a dozen. And who this is may surprise you.
My dad, was 83.
We'll come back to him in a minute. People every day are still living through the crisis.
They paint the picture that we're swimming in bottled water like it's gold. Like we're so lucky, we're so fortunate to have this bottled water. No, we're not. I want this to not poison my family. I want to be able to use my tap and be a normal person. Will you get me 8 bottles of water, honey?
A year ago, the new normal for Melissa Mays and her family of 5 became a drastic change. She still won't wash her clothes at home.
We have to use a laundromat because the laundry stinks.
They still have lead in their water. The state told them so a few weeks ago, with this stark notice hanging on her front door. This is saying your lead is too high.
And
right?
It's not my lead because we have no lead lines. We have no lead lines. We have a copper service line.
You've confirmed that.
Yes.
We went to see it for ourselves going into her basement. The service line is copper. But that's not all.
The first thing they would try to tell us is that it's our interior faucets, but the funny thing here is that I tested my water in my basement right at my water meter.
Here's the spigot right where she said it was, on the copper line coming out of the water meter.
And this is not the first high test. I sent my water off to an independent lab and they picked up 150 a couple weeks before this.
So she uses bottled water for everything, cooking, cleaning, coping. Flint switched off Detroit Water in 2014 to save money. The new free water source, the Flint River. But it was more corrosive and caused lead to leach from pipes. A year ago, the governor came up with the money to switch back to Detroit. And the crisis has turned Melissa Mays into an activist. She's part of a group that stages what they call die-ins. This was in May when the governor came to town and did not meet with them. She also protests at home, not paying her Flint water bill.
We're sick. All the medical bills, not to mention the destruction of our appliances. Now I'm spending $40 a week at a laundromat.
Daily life for Flint's 100,000 residents still includes picking up free bottled water and filters at 9 centers, staffed by Michigan Works employees, paid by the state.
Everyone's doing what they can. There's no easy fix.
This is a welcome sight a year later, utility crews tearing up streets. But this project would be a false alarm. This crew is replacing gas lines, not lead service lines. Flint has as many as 5,000 lead service lines. And get this, only 115 have been replaced. It'll take tens of millions of dollars and years to complete.
There's nobody tearing my grass up to fix my pipes. And the issue is the pipes.
The worst of the water crisis with a sudden impact is the epidemic of Legionnaire's disease. 101 cases, 12 deaths. 5 deaths happened in the first year, 2014. This man died a year later. No warning was issued. Your father's death could have been prevented.
Yes. I mean, at least yeah.
The one person who has taken responsibility for the crisis is Michigan Governor Rick Snyder.
Have you reached out to those families? And if not, why not?
No, in fact, I'm not familiar with the particular names of the families.
Rick Snyder, meet John Snyder. His son is Mike Snyder. No relation to the governor, no compassion, no condolences sent their way for their loss.
Yes, it's on him, and I guess I'm more disappointed the way everything turned out from that perspective. Hey, I voted twice for the guy. I thought maybe this would make sense.
It was the governor who first announced the bombshell Legionnaire's cases back in January, but it was clear state and local Flint officials knew about the epidemic for more than a year.
That's part of all the investigations ongoing.
You've not reached out to any of them?
That's correct.
Why not?
Again, I'm going to say that's not correct in terms of I have not reached out to them.
They knew what was going on, but they didn't say anything.
Right. Yeah. I guess a kind word would probably be incompetence.
The final sobering thought, the water here is still not safe to drink, and no one can say when it will be. In Flint, Jim Kiertzner, 7 Action News.